Okay. So with that said, we are going to go into a little bit of a training, but I don't want to call it a training. It's just how to have a successful business. And it could be used in any front, but I'm going to use it for insurance. So I'm just going to share my screen. And today we're going to talk about having a growth strategy for 2024. Since a lot of us are running for promotions, some of the promotions are senior manager, a lot of them are executive director. We're fine with whatever you want. We are here to make sure you get to that goal. So the first, number one, if you are an invited guest, if you feel like this is too much, don't worry. You can go and join us later, but I encourage you to stay on because it's for everything basically. But number one is understanding the product concept. I want you to learn it. I want you to own it. Be a product of the product. You need to live it and you also need to grow it. Okay? Why do we say that? Why do we say you got to be a product of the product? If you don't own it, you can't really sell it very well. If you don't own a let's say a Kirby vacuum cleaner, you're not gonna really know how to sell it as well as the person that owns it. They're gonna say, "Oh my God, I had cereal and it was mashed into the carpet and I picked it up and it just picked right up." You know, you have to be able to be using the product in order to really sell it so well. I promise you, the person that doesn't own the product and the person that does own it are gonna sell it very differently. They're going to have a very different belief system. We never push you to do self sales, but here you can write control business. You can write a policy on yourself, on your family, and earn from it, right? It's as earned, but your upline doesn't need to make all the money from it. It's okay for you to write your own business. We encourage you to have something of your own, and you're getting paid for it the first year. So why not? You should definitely have a product. And you need to live it. If you have the product, you're going to automatically live it. If you're talking about the product at least daily once, make it a habit that you talk about one product daily. It could be to your spouse, your children, your friend, or make a peer in the business. You can talk to anybody in this group and say, "Hey, who wants to talk?" We have a Discord channel that several great people run here. And they created an opportunity for you to go on there and really work on your business together. So if you feel lost, you need people, and you find people in Discord or if you go out or if you call us, right? So if you're lost, you need people, and people are found everywhere, whether it's in the group chat or Discord. So make sure you get in. Now again, don't get stuck in learning, please. You don't have to become a doctor of that subject matter right away. It's not needed, guys. You don't need a doctorate to make money here, but you need to understand the concept and practice it together. Okay? Concept and application are very, very important. Number two, this is some of the hardest things that people have to do. I bet you if you are not doing well, it's because you're not doing number two. Asking for it. Ask for business. We are so scared, and I know we go through it all the time. Raza goes through it all the time, daily, on a daily basis. Getting on and asking for a sale could be so hard. But what we do is we tell ourselves no before the client says no. Did you guys hear that? That is very important. As human nature is, we will tell ourselves no even before a client says no. We won't even call them because we're saying no, they're going to say no. That's not okay. Why are you telling yourself no? Why are you putting yourself in that situation? The client, let them say no. It's okay, but you cannot. Do some of you do this? Raise your hand or type in the chat. Yes, I have this problem. I tell myself no before I really get a no. Look at that. Look at how many people are popping their hands up. So you're not alone. This is absolutely normal. You are not unique because you told yourself no before another person did, a real person. Mind is a dangerous thing, but if you use it right, it's very powerful. There's two flip sides. It could be dangerous and detrimental, or it could be powerful for you, for your life. Use it properly. Don't let it, do the negative stuff to you. So I love that everybody shared that, because now people feel like it's okay to say that to yourself. It's okay to have negative dialogue, but get out of it is what we need to do, right? You need something to say?
No.
It's stuck. Sorry, it's stuck. Okay, number 3. You are the middleman. Understand your positioning here. You don't have to create the business from scratch. You don't have to create the concept from scratch. You don't have to bring the money to the table. It's not your money. It's someone else's money. It's just us. We're the middleman. We take that person with their money and connect them to the company that's going to use it and grow it. And we connect them. That is our job. Do not, already say that my client's not going to spend that money. It's not your money. My client's not going to put $500 every month. Again, it's not your money. Do not have that relationship with someone else's money. It's not right. You are the middleman. Identify that. The person in between a wealth transfer. That is you. So if you have a problem with this, write it down. I am not the person who's spending the money. We sometimes have a bad relationship with that. I am the person who is connecting two people. Okay, that is my job. Write that down so you know to identify yourself properly before you talk to people, before you call people, before you meet people. So you don't make a mistake of saying no before the sale, right? Or telling no before before you even talk to them. The middleman is always the one that becomes wealthy because he doesn't have to come up with that fund to put money into investment, nor is he on the line if the investment fails. Thankfully, we can't deal in products that have investment failure. It's not our job to worry about that. Our job is to tell them the information, empower the client, bring the client who is willing to maybe spend the money, and we just tie it in together beautifully and let them do their thing. We don't have to worry about it afterwards. We are not the actuary. We don't worry about percentage, the growth, or anything like that after the client starts putting money into the account. If he has a problem, he can actually call the company directly and resolve it on its own. We don't have to be a part of that anymore. So we are a facilitator. Make sure you're clear about that. Some people become the client. That's a very unhealthy relationship. We always do this. We tend to talk ourselves out of a sale before it even gets there, before you even make the appointment, because you have a personal relationship with someone else's money, or you have a personal relationship with how a company will perform with that money. You shouldn't. That's not you. It has nothing to do with you. You're only the connector. Number 4, make 100,000. Guys, if you're on this team, go make 6 figures. There's no reason that you cannot make 6 figures in this business. There's no reason. And the moment you hit 6 figures, you need to multiply yourself. This is how you'll be successful in this business. This is how you're not going to have that pen dry out. If you are writing consistently all the time, you are going to have a burnout. The hardest part is getting to 100,000. For a lot of us, hitting 6 figures is the hardest thing. I get it. Having to start over and do it multiple times, getting to that 100,000 is literally the hardest thing. But getting from 100,000 to 1,000,000, you would hear millionaires say this, that it's not as hard. Because what you start focusing on is how to duplicate yourself. That is the beauty of this business. We have that built in. So when you become a producer and make 100,000, you're going to go teach others. You're going to create a team of people that are going to do the same for themselves. That is a successful formula to becoming a millionaire. You cannot become a millionaire by self-production. Very seldom. I think maybe 0.005% become millionaires by self-production. Most millionaires rely on others to get to that point. They make others to get to that point. That's why if you have a bad relationship with building and recruiting, you need to change that, because you're going to cut off your 7 figures. You're going to cut it off to being only 6 figures. So you have to make a healthy relationship with recruiting others. It is helping others, empowering them to make 6 figures. You're duplicating and you're making someone else have a healthy amount of money to live, where people are struggling and they're looking for opportunities. There is nowhere that you can invest such a small amount of money and create a 6-figure income. There is nothing out there like that. Everything else takes money to build, a crazy amount of money to build. Here, you can just use your mind, your connections, your phone, and just go out there and make a 6-figure, 7-figure business. 5, law of averages and indoctrination. I know that's a big wordy sentence, but it's really simple. Everyone has a personal average. You always hear us say the 10% rule because industry-wide, we have always seen this. All of the people that have mentored has always told us that there is a 10% rule. After you talk to 100 clients, 10 of them will be great. And those 10 is all you need to make great money here. You don't need a lot of clients. Out of 100 agents that you try to build in your agency, 10 will go out there and do something. That is the percentage the number goes by. In other industry, the number percentage would be different. But here in the insurance industry, that is the percentage. We have a little bit better at wealth makers, thankfully. So we're doing something right. But always remember, and don't be so hard on yourself. I've seen people who have 10 people on their team and they're like, man, they're not doing anything. I'm so frustrated. I'm trying to help them. I'm calling them and I'm pushing them. And I say, well, how many of them are actually doing something? Well, Mark, that's the only one. I'm like, well, how many do you have? 10. Well, 10% rule. It tells you every time that you need to kind of have some belief in yourself that you are doing right by people, but people have their own decision-making skills. They're going to make their own decision as to how much they want to move and how fast they move. That is not your responsibility. It is theirs. And then indoctrinating their clients before the close. Sometimes that word is used in the wrong way, but all it means is teaching and leaving them without a question that this is the right thing for them. So when you indoctrinate someone, like say you indoctrinate them into a religion, they will have the total belief that I am following the right religion for myself. And you cannot tell them anything different. That's how we have to package the product for them. That they have the total belief that this is something that's going to save them when they're 65 years old and they don't have any other income coming in. This is what's going to save them, the account that you sold them. So that's why we have to have those two magical concepts down when it comes to our business. Law of averages and indoctrination of a client or even an agent. You can use it in both ways. If your agent is sold on this business, on how great it's going to be for their family, you're done. They're going to go run and do their own thing. They're not even going to look back at you. They are already sold on what they have to do. Number 6, again, I don't have a lot of concepts, so we're about to be done. Number 6, the perfect close. Here are the 5 elements on a perfect close. If some of you are sitting there and you're saying, I don't know how to close a client, that's not a big problem. We can correct that. Everything can be corrected. I cannot correct your personal problems, but I can correct your business ethics. I can correct your business operations, what you're doing on a day-to-day basis. There's 5 elements when it comes to closing. Number 1, first, you hear the client. Let them tell their story. Find their holes. And you talk about, sorry?
Get to sleep.
Okay. Number 1, talk about objectives. What is the client's objective here? Oh, that they don't have enough money for retirement. You need to be a mirror, okay? We're not absorbing what the client is saying. We're not taking it from one ear and pulling it out from the other. We're not doing all those magic tricks. What we're going to do is we're going to be a mirror. We're going to listen to them and we're going to repeat it back to them that I understand your problem. I see what you have going on here. I see that we have a hole in the retirement. I understand your pain. Be a mirror. The best mirror will win in this business. Be a mirror to your clients. You need to hear them out. If you're a good mirror, you actually heard them and you packaged it nicely and brought it back to them that you understand their problems. Number 2, you're going to explain how you will help them achieve those objectives. Hey, Mr. Client, I see that you need about $20,000 extra for your retirement. I see you have Social Security, you have all this, but you still have a hole because you told me you needed $80,000 a year tax-free to be able to live okay. You have a hole of $20,000. With this plan that I just showed you, I believe we can take care of that hole. I believe that we can take care of that problem to make you feel more secure. And it's just going to require A, B, and C. And on the second phone call, I'm going to give you the exact numbers to show you what it looks like after you actually retire and utilize it. You can work backwards with the clients wherever they're missing them out, right? Number 3, explain how you will work with them, deliverables, timeline. If you are closing the phone and saying, all right, I'll call you back on the next appointment, that is not correct. You're going to say, hey, from here on out, I'm going to make sure that, we're going to, second appointment, we're going to do a illustration. That illustration, again, that's an industry term. So we don't just use that, we explain it. That illustration is going to show you that if you started saving now and you retire at 65 with $400 a month, what is your retirement going to look like with numbers, right? Projections. This is what the illustration will show you. And it's going to happen if you are free on tomorrow or the day after or this weekend. I'm going to bring the illustration on the appointment, and I'm going to break it down and explain it to you and address any questions you have. Once they are an appointment, they're closing and they're like, yeah, I want to do this. Then you're going to say, hey, you're going to be getting a call because you might need this. You might need a medical check. You're going to be getting a call in about a week. And if it's approved, hey, remember I told you on the 15th is when they're going to pull out money. So make sure you're telling them timelines so they're not surprised. Number 4, now you're going to do a temperature check. You're going to see how likely this client is to buy from you. Why do you need to do a temperature check? Can anybody answer that question? It's okay, I'll answer it myself. You do a temperature check because you need to go back and see if you missed something. If that client is sounding still a little iffy and they're just quietly just sitting like with their arms crossed at you, that means that we didn't cover an objective of theirs.
It's also the difference between seeing if they have an objection or if they have a question.
Yes.
Those are two different things.
And those are the two things that will be that we didn't cover. I mean, if they don't have money, that's a completely different thing. But most clients that we bring to the call will have some kind of money, minimum $100 that they can save towards it. Preferably, they should save more to make it more robust and actually make it work like the way it should work. But we are open because what we say is start off with something and build up to a couple more hundred a month. When they start seeing that account and how much they can benefit from it, they will increase that number themselves. Okay. Number 5, sometimes we fail to do this. We will in our mind come up with a number for the client. No, let the client play around with numbers. Find the sweet spot. Sometimes we've had people that would come up with an annuity and they have $140,000 saved up in a 401k. And you're like, hey, I can move it and I can do this magical stuff that will happen in your annuity rollover. This is great. But sometimes asking for all of it is not a good thing. Leave a little bit in their bank account so they trust you. Hey, let's leave 40,000 in your bank account because you told me that, you might be doing something with it or you're scared or you're worried. Put 40 in your bank account. Let's take the rest of it, 90,000, and go ahead and invest that in here or put that in here. We don't use invest. Let's put it in here, roll it over into a safe place that's going to have growth and market protection.
Save it.
So we're going to save it, right? So you talk like that. Make sure you're playing around with numbers. Don't take a client's full amount of money if you find them that they're bucking. Again, do the temperature check. If you feel like they're bucking or they're a little reserved or a little scared, take care of that objective. That objective may be it's too much money that they're putting into you and they don't know you yet. Okay, it's okay. We can form a relationship and we can take some of it. You test it out and see how you feel later. Guess what? They'll just move the rest of the amount over if they feel so comfortable. Number 7, sales is your way to a better income and lifestyle. Become the king of sales. And this is not me saying it. This is generally, if you study billionaires, this is what the numbers look like. 75% of billionaires in this world come from direct sales, guys. Does that surprise anyone?
Nope.
When we say we are in the number 1 income earning opportunity, just like real estate, we're not joking. It really is because it's in direct sales. We are directly selling to people. We are helping their life. 75% of the billionaires in the world come from this kind of business structure. Mark Cuban started by selling trash bags door to door. Did you guys know that? And he always says, he always says, if you had $500 in your bank account and you needed to make a whole bunch of money suddenly, go out and do direct sales because you control your paycheck. You really do control your paycheck. If you want to make $1,000, that's your mindset. You're going to make $1,000. If you want to make $10,000 a week, no one can stop you because that's your mindset and your work ethic. That's all it depends on. Elon Musk called every single one of his sales directors on a meeting at 9 p.m. every night to teach them how to sell better. Elon Musk owns a multi-billion-dollar company, richest man in the world, calls his sales directors at 9 p.m. every night to make sure they understand how to do their jobs that much better. Bill Gates used to lower his voice on the phone so that the people that he would call wouldn't be able to tell that he's a teenager. Imagine that. So also, I want you to remember, millionaires negotiate. Billionaires, what they do, the superpower that a billionaire has, this is the difference. They're going to extract every penny that they can from you. So that what that means to tell you is that when you're talking to a client, find other holes. Does their husband have something? Maybe he can't get covered with an IUL because of a health condition. Okay, no problem. Does he have an annuity rollover? What if you have a grandma? She doesn't have a final expense policy. That's a client. What if that person has 3 children? Don't they want to send those kids to college? Yes, they do. What parent doesn't want to send their kid to college? Find holes, stop those holes, help them, and you can be even a millionaire, maybe even a billionaire. Okay? Extract all information where you can help them and help them in the long run for their life. I mean, that's what we do here. We don't help them temporarily. This is a lifelong commitment that we are in. We'd help them for their lifetime and maybe even generationally, right? Because if they die and then there's an insurance payout, guess what? Their grandkids are going to thank you and they're going to pray for you every night and they're going to love you. And that's where you want to be. That's it. That again, there's not a huge training, but just how to really make your business powerful because we are all on a very big run to our promotions and we have huge momentum going on the team. It's up to you if you want to ride that momentum. Join us. If not, we still love you. It's not a problem. But when there's momentum, you should always ride that momentum up. Any questions, thoughts? I mean, that's it. There's no bigger training than this. We have 10 minutes for you guys to give me your thoughts. What should we do?
Actually, I have a question. For everyone who went to Canada, just like real quick, if you could just like give us like something that you learned or an insight you got when you were there. I'd love to hear from everyone who was there, who attended.
I'll go first on that. The quote that I remember from the convention was when Mario closed it, and he said, "If tomorrow doesn't come, did you do enough?" And my thing is, right, you know, I mean, I'm a little hard on myself, yeah, you know, whatever, but it's okay. But with that being said, I know that if I just become, if each and every day I just concentrate on being a little bit more disciplined. It's funny because me and my teenager was talking about this, and Amrana, he's just like, "Mom, I just need to get more focused," and I'm like, how could I be so lucky to have a driver right in my backyard? And I wanted to say this to you guys. You guys are the same way. You guys are so blessed and so lucky and so fortunate that you've got a driver right there in your backyard.
Right there, right here.
Imrana, I've known you. I've known you, honey, for some years. Right? And I just don't call you the baby girl for nothing. I've literally, I don't even want to even give her age away because she's so young, right? She's so young. But what I'm seeing right now in you, right now, you have done a total 360 in just the past 6 months. Just from your training, just from how you're you know, like how you're, you know, like how you've been engaging with people at the Texas Takeover and at the convention. They just don't know. And I've been texting Franklin like, what the heck? What, man, you see him, Rana? Just like, listen, that ain't your money. Stop spending other people's money. Let the client choose. I'm like, what? I'm rubbing off on her, buddy. Right? She's just like, you were like, I don't know, something in you. I know it's this convention, but it was still before the convention. I've seen a powerhouse. You've turned into a powerhouse. I know you're keeping this guy in line too. He's just like, I'm like, buddy, he's just like, it just comes out of nowhere. She's quiet, then she's fine. Then she's like, you know what, move, just move. What's up with the Zoom? You know, fix this so I can get back on my grind. It's just so wonderful to see, you know.
Thank you, Carmen. I learned from the best. I happen to have some really cool people on the team that I learned so much from. What you guys don't know is when you're on the call with this guy, I'm always listening, because
Yes.
my job on the team is to find the problems and to fix them.
Mhm.
I'm a problem solver by nature, and I use that skill. And even Carmen said, that's your department. You do, you know, everybody identified who I was before and what
Yes.
my skill set is. And they said, just go fix the problem. And that's what I do. These guys, these are sales beasts. They are powerhouses. I don't step on their toes, but they also respect me enough where they give me my lane, and my lane is fixing problems. And that's what I do.
Strategy.
And what she's talking
Yes.
about, I think, is a great example, Dominic. Going to conventions
It's just,
creates monsters like this.
Yes.
That's what conventions do. That's why we say don't miss it. Don't miss it. It could be life-changing for you, because for me, I learned so much. There's a lot of learning that happens. Instead of you learning 1 hour a day, imagine just sitting there for 8 hours with the top people in the company, and they're just feeding you all this information left, right. You're like, oh my God, I have no excuse. I gotta go break down doors, you know, axe down the wall.
guys, just notes and notes.
Notes and notes. Notes
Totally.
and these are people, like she mentioned, the gentleman, what's his name again?
Mark.
Mario.
No, Mario Francella. This guy has gone through a childhood disease, that he had a 10% rate of survival, guys. Incredible story. 10% rate of survival. And here he is, top tier in the company. He's doing really well. And he's giving these speeches that make people like, whoa, I have an opportunity in life. You know what he messaged us? He was in a conversation where we got to speak, because we got I think MVP or something, and we had the opportunity to come on and do a speech. And I said, you know, I look at Raza for my drive, because his why is so big. It's so grand. I don't know if he's ever shared his why. His why is so grand that I have no choice but to do what I have to do to make his why complete, I guess. He said he cannot get life insurance, everyone. He cannot. He has a medical condition. He's had a quadruple bypass. This guy has died on a table and come back to life. And his goal is, because he got a new chance in life to have kids and all of this, he said, I wish that I could leave something behind for you. And he always said that. But we had nothing. And then this company came about, and it's literally like a life insurance product for him. So I said, the why is so big that we will not fall off the scoreboard. It doesn't matter if 50 people are with us or only one person is with us. We were in the top 5 when only Carmen was with us, and we will be in the top 5 when hundreds of people are with us. It doesn't matter.
Yes.
Because the why is insanely big that I cannot stop. I cannot sleep. I cannot sit. Yes, Bree, we have to go crazy. You have to, if you don't have a why that big, steal someone else's why. The why is what drives you when you're down. So that's what's changing in me, Carmen. I have watched this guy go crazy, pounding the pavement just to make that why happen. And now he has that opportunity. That's my life's reason, you know, my business reason to go far and go hard.
Yeah.
And I think you saw that. I think you know that, you know, about me.
Oh, well.
She's seen me be a very timid, shy person, guys. When I say I'm an introvert, no one believes me, but she's known me when I was an introvert. And this is all in the matter of years I've changed. I've been learning.
Yeah. Well, you guys are a great inspiration anyway, you know.
Yeah.
That's how come I'm convinced I'm not supposed to find my man in the life insurance business because it's too tough. I'd kill him. We'd be at each other's throats. It's this thing in for everybody, you know. You guys do it great, but I don't know, you know.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
It
It's not
keeps
for
the
every
relationship. I
right.
was
It's not
saying that Mario messaged me and he said, you know what? I forgot that I am not coverable like with life insurance. I cannot get my own product. And I forgot that that is my reason for selling, that I can no longer get life insurance. So he said,
yeah,
thank you for reminding me
Yeah.
that my
yeah.
why now is so much greater. And I was like, wow, you got to tell people your story, everyone. When you're
Yeah.
talking to a client, we were in a sales presentation training. It was just about sales and it was for
Mhm.
high-end elite clients. And the only thing that guy really told us to focus on, he didn't say go learn the product left and
Do
right.
demonstration.
We didn't even have to learn the product. He just
Mhm.
told us how to create our story. Who are we
Mhm.
and how to sell the product, not learn the product.